What's popping? What's dropping? This your boy live and direct, absolute full effect out the 832. Y'all already know how Jimmy J Smooth do. Live and direct in full effect out my boy after 662. Y'all already know how he do the same way I do, god damn it. So, man, what we gonna talk about today, brother?
Man, what's going on? First of all, let's say what's up to the Jimmy J Smooth network listeners, along with the Let's Draw on Something listeners. I'm his co-host Craig L. Smith II, born and raised in 773, relocated to 901, had to put up with a lot of bullshit in 256, and now I've returned to the 662. And y'all definitely know how I do. Man, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff today, man, on this show. Toss up about Jason Kidd's situation. The big baller brand has branded out. The lawyer the lawyer having the nerve to extort Nike. And we also got fan questions and everything. And let me put a disclaimer on there. Also, if you're also joining on the chat, everybody, big shout out to Jimmy J Smooth's regular guys on the chat, like Marcus Johnson and everyone else. Shout out to them. I mean, you can ask some questions on here for us as well. And, it's understandable, you guys still send me questions under the Let's Draw Something plug. That's fine and good. But if you want to send your questions to Jimmy, you can. He has provided his email address, but he's even provided his email address on my podcast. But don't be scared to email because you never know. Because hey, I believe Jimmy does check his emails every now and then if they're not junk. But exactly. He checks his emails and sometimes. Go ahead.
You're going in and out, bro. You're going in and out, bro.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, but don't be scared to email Jimmy J up, because you never know when he'll check his emails. If you email him a question today, we'll more likely answer your question on the next show as long as you be watching. So, I don't mind the questions because I also answer them on behalf of Let's Draw on Something as well. So we got a couple of questions on here, including that it was one from me. Somebody's trying to rub it in your face about Gonzaga. That's another question too. It was when I read the question, it was funny. Somebody trying to rub it in your face about Gonzaga, and somebody trying to put us in our place about Virginia, but in a nice way. So we're gonna answer that question. And we're gonna go ahead off this question here. This question comes from Tony in Blacksburg, Virginia. Frank Beamer country. Said, hello, fellas. Said I was a first time listener on the Jimmy J Smooth network the other day, and you guys were talking about Virginia. You guys have been very well vocal and very critical of the Tony Bennett offense. What I want to know from you two is, when will you guys ever give them a chance? Is the first question. And the second question he wants to know is, are you ever going to get him a chance in NCAA? Are you going to get him a chance against the Oregon team that they're going to be playing in the Sweet 16? Okay. And he also had, And he also answered the third question. He said, and will Jimmy have enough sense to give Virginia a chance if they play against Tennessee? So which question you want to answer first?
First of all, chance in hell against a Dana Altman's offense. That's fuck no. I don't give them a chance. And even if they get past a Dana Altman offense, they're going to get exposed against Tennessee. And Tennessee is going to wake up and smell the coffee and run your slow offense having ass, your none inside they're gonna run their ass out the goddamn gym. Virginia is slow down, low down offense that them motherfuckers have. Them bitches is gonna continue to never win a national championship ever in existence. You cannot win a national championship in the 2000s in the shot clock era with a slow down offense without a dominating center who can score. This ain't the goddamn UCLA offense. This ain't the goddamn Louisville before the shot clock, before the 3-point shot. What the fuck is y'all thinking? I'm not giving that slow down ass offense a chance until he shows me that they can score with the best of them, and they cannot do it. Duke blowed their ass out the second time in their house because they have a slow down offense. Florida State beat them with the two Africans. Don't ask me to pronounce those motherfucking names. You probably can pronounce it better than I can.
I don't even know their names anyway, but two African guys.
The two African guys, they say we're not gonna get jiggy with this shit. Get that shit out of here, you black ass niggas, and get that shit out of here. Get that shit out of here. They were beating y'all shit up out of there to the point to where, goddamn it, y'all lost in the semifinal rounds, which a team which a team is nowhere near as talented. And that's not to piss on my black brother Leonard Hamilton, because he's a West Tennessee guy. I love him to death. But let's be honest with you. With the talent that Virginia had, they should have blew out Florida State. But guess what? You made Leonard Hamilton team look better than what they actually were. And hopefully they can get past Gonzaga. Hopefully. But you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I like Gonzaga and I like Florida State. So that's gonna be one of those games that's a toss-up to me. But I think if Gonzaga get past Florida State, I don't see I forgot who's in their bracket, but I don't see the other team.
Gonzaga play Florida State, and then Florida play Michigan. So more likely Michigan will meet up with Gonzaga. That's gonna be a good game there, man. But I kind of agree. I kind of agree with what I forgot the guy's name already. The question I asked. Whether to the listener's question. I agree with Jimmy on all them aspects, man. Don't get us wrong. We bash Virginia because, you know, we like what we see. Put it like this. Record-wise is okay. We like what we see record-wise. But they don't play like they record indicates.
Exactly.
I mean, you look at teams like Jimmy's favorite, Gonzaga. 32-3. They're that damn good, and they got to play Duke in the Final Four. And I still stick to my gun. Gonzaga is going to play my boys, North Carolina, in the NCAA championship game, and I think Gonzaga can beat them. You just got to, and because I'm going to tell you why. I'm getting off subject about Gonzaga. I'm going to tell you why I think they can match up with Carolina. They can match up with them on all ends. And Roy Williams doesn't have what Mark Few and the Proud has on his team. He has not one. He has 3 stretch bigs that can go out there and pop that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And he can mix it up. He can mix it up with the best of them too. But you know, because he can run full. He can run a full court press, a man to man to get his point across. I mean, he can do everything. But I think, you know, and I'm calling me crazy, but I think Gonzaga can match up to my boys, Carolina, and they can beat them. I ain't saying this against Carolina. I love Carolina to death because, see, excuse me, that point guard of theirs, Kobe White, he is their strength and their weakness. Mm-hmm. Because I ain't never seen a dude that'll jack up a 3 with 8 seconds left on the damn shot clock.
Exactly. And
I mean, it's just stupid ass shit like that. You know, that can cost the game.
And they would have beaten Duke for the 3rd time had he not jacked up a dumbass 3. You know, even with Zion, because they should have beat him with Zion in that game. Out of all the games they should have won, they should have won that game in particular. But he jacked up his stupid ass.
I was at Buffalo Wild Wings that night, and the bartender was like, "Damn, that was dumb." Even the bartender had to look up. He's like, "Damn, he had 10 seconds left on the clock. He jacked up that 3."
But guess what? That's why, as Carolina, and my roommate was arguing with me about this. Well, you give them a chance to win, to regroup. It doesn't matter. You call a time out of that situation. This is why Roy Williams lose games that he loses. Roy Williams need to stop trying to be like John Wooden, because John Wooden wouldn't call timeouts. But guess what? John Wooden had a shitload of talent out in LA that he had access to. And then typically he would get the number 1 players in the United States, as well as the best center in the United States. So he was at an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Roy Williams, he does not have that luxury to not call out. he needs to learn how to call timeout. I know you ain't gonna teach an old dog new tricks, you know what I'm saying? Because he's got into a fucked up habit, you know what I'm saying? But
but you gotta take that back. But see, Coach K learns it. He learns new shit every year, and that's the one thing I like about Coach K. He learned new shit every year.
But that's the thing. Coach K adjusts. He's always adjusted. Like he took the Bobby Knight version of the motion offense. He tried to use the 5-out system that Bobby Knight uses, because typically the motion offense is a 4-out, 1-in system. You know what I'm saying? But Bobby Knight's version is a 4-out system, which you know, stretch bigs are not uncommon with Bobby Knight's system. So he brought it back to the traditional Hank Iba system with the 4-out system. So he took a lot with Bobby Knight, which his version of the motion offense, the Bobby Knight version of the motion offense, he used it to perfection at Army. He came to Duke, he did not have so much success, so he like, shit, I got Johnny Dawkins, I got Jay Billis, I got the #1 recruiting class. I got to go back to what Hank Iba brought to, and I got to adjust this system. So that's what he did. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Duke Blue Devils got into the second round of the NCAA tournament the years after he recruited this #1 recruiting class, which was his only losing season at Duke. And then they finally got to the Final Four in Johnny Dawkins' senior year. So Coach K has made adjustments over time. You know, at first, Coach K recruited a whole bunch of white boys, but he was like, you know what? I got to go back to my hood roots. So I'm gonna get me some hood brothers. I'm gonna get this hood nigga from Alaska, and I'm gonna get me a couple of hood niggas from Chicago, and I'm finna show them how good I can really coach. At first, he didn't do too well with hood niggas, but then he had to adjust to those guys. He had to adjust to the Gattiers, the Trajan Langdons. He had to adjust to the William Averys and stuff like that. You know what? Guess what? I done won with me a bunch of hood niggas. So you know what I'm saying?
I really think, and it's funny you say about Trajan Langdon. You know, he's now he's now being considered for an NBA job, so NBA general manager job. So I like what he's done with him, because he is now, because they said he's a first-year scout for the Brooklyn Nets. So he did have a pretty good career. I'm going to put it like this. I say he had a pretty good post-NBA career. But, man, when he was at Duke, contested or uncontested, with his three-point stroke, you could not fuck with that man on that shit. Well, let me take that back with the exception of Bob Huggins. Because Bob Huggins fucked him up 21 years ago. Bob Huggins fucked him up. The game, and put it like this, it's the game that ESPN refused to talk about, let alone they never did air on TV. We had to find out about it the next day. #1 Duke beaten by Cincinnati.
Yeah, and with Trajan Langdon, I remember he gave the Fairleigh Bulldogs their only loss of the season when they played in the Alaskan Shootout, the high school version of the Great Alaskan Shootout. And at that point, Fairleigh Bulldogs didn't lose another game for the season. Him and Vincent Rainey and Sylvester Ford just straight up dominated Tennessee, beat Science Hill in the championship game, man, in spite of Sylvester Ford fouling out early. But, man, I talked to one of the guys who played on that team, who got a ring off that Fairleigh team. He was like, man, we could stop everybody on that damn team, but Trajan Langdon killed us single-handedly in the Great Alaska Shootout, because they made the championship game against this team in Alaska. I can't think of the team in Alaska.
Yeah, in high school.
Did play in high school, yeah. And, you know, Trajan Langdon single-handedly beat the shit out of fucking Fairleigh. And, you know, he didn't lose another game. You know what I'm saying? That's Sylvester Ford, the legendary Sylvester Ford's only championship. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that just shows you how good Trajan Langdon is. But that goes to show you that Coach K keep up with the times. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
His first championship, you know, had some Catholic white boys in that motherfucker. The third championship, you know, because them white boys took over the first two championships. With UNLV game, you know what I'm saying? I'm still pissed off about that game to this very day. You know what I'm
And
saying?
every college basketball fan. Ow, damn, that hurt. Every college basketball fan is the greatest fluke of all time. But
yeah, I can't. You know, the second championship, okay, y'all won that fair and square, but the first one, with
that
all
was a
those,
fluke.
that was an entire fluke. But the third championship, they clearly beat the shit out of Maryland. Maryland was no match for fucking Coach K. I mean, Maryland and Arizona, there was no match for.
They beat the shit out of Arizona. And this is the team that had Richard Jefferson and Jason Terry. Jason Terry just didn't fucking show up.
Lauren, what's that dude name? The center they had, that 7'1" dude, Lauren Roberts, I think his name. Lauren Woods, and he had brittle ass bones. The dude could have been a great NBA player, but the dude bones was fucking brittle as shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I mean that was another thing. And they had Luke Walton on that team, who's about to be fired from the Lakers, but Luke Walton don't have his head, don't have no reason to lay his head down. He need to stick to being an assistant coach. But they had a starting five that was bad, man. But dude beat the shit out of them, man. They took advantage and beat the shit out of the boys, man. So Coach K has learned to adjust. That's the difference between Roy Williams. Roy Williams make little to no adjustments. You do a good job of recruiting motherfuckers, but he doesn't make the adjustments that Coach K did. And like the game, not San Diego State, but North Dakota State, when they played them in the first round and they was hanging with Duke, man, he was like, oh, North Dakota State gonna upset him. Like, no. One thing about Coach K, he rarely loses in the first round. You know, you either one, you got to be able to shoot with him or outshoot him, or you
because man, they turned it up. They outscored their fools 30, 50 something. Yeah. Damn near by 40 points in the second half. I'm like, God damn. And Coach K was pressing the shit out their ass, man.
Oh yeah, and he's been using the press more often than not the last few games. You know what I'm saying? He typically does not press unless he going up against a team that's going to press him, or he sees a weakness in them, like he did West Virginia that year. You know what I'm saying? And with the big 7'1" white boy and the I think his name Shays, some shit like that. Shire, I can't think of him. That's how irrelevant that team was. But they won a championship against Butler, though. They had, they were good enough to win it all. But those boys, what he did against West Virginia, he knew West Virginia ball handling skills sucked ass. So he was like, let me press these motherfuckers out the gym. You know what I'm saying? Because West Virginia gave him some problems with the press. So he was like, let me press them. And, man, he ran them off the court with their own game plan. So, yeah, he's been doing more pressing than normal. And he typically does not press. He typically sticks to a 3-2 or 2-3 zone a lot of times. And he was like, he let his players he uses defense. He uses defense based on the talent he has. You know what I'm saying? But typically he does not press unless he's going against somebody else. But he used the press better than Bob Huggins. Bob Huggins was like,
I give it to him on that, man. And but to answer old boy's question about Virginia, we don't give him a chance. We ain't being smart assy with you. We still stick to what we said about Virginia. Now, we could take Virginia seriously if their record was 30. I don't know what their record is. I think it's 30-3 now, 29-3, something like that. If their record was like Gonzaga at 32-3 and played some Gonzaga offense, which Gonzaga is number one in the nation in points scored at almost 100.
Yeah.
And they're like in the top 5 defensively. Now, if they had a Gonzaga offense and that Virginia defense, yeah, man, we'll give them all kinds of chances, but to be honest with you, not against a Tennessee team. But I agree. I gotta agree with Jimmy on here. Dana Altman ain't gonna let you run his ass out the building.
No, Dana Altman.
Because like I said, because now this man finna get Lawson's son. Dana Altman, if he got and like I said on the Sport Talk chat, you got a deficiency. Dana Altman gonna ride your ass to work on that shit. Because his offense is tailor-made that everybody has to shoot the three. They got to have some type form of jump shot. because he can go with the high-low game, like the 4 in, the spin of the 4 in, the 4 out, 1 in, 1 out, 4 in, and shit like that. You know, and if you looked at his offenses at Creighton, yeah, they were blowing motherfuckers out the water.
I remember he had a dude named Buford at Creighton. I can't think of his first name, but he had a fucked up ass afro, you know. But that motherfucker was shooting the shit out that motherfucker. And
I remember when he had Doug McDermott.
Doug McDermott wasn't no joke either, dog. So yeah,
he went from not being a joke to a joke.
Yeah, but you know, in college, you know, he did his thing, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, but you know, with that question, man, it is what it is about Virginia. So not to disappoint, I kind of read between the lines in the question because I think he doesn't give. I think the listener doesn't think Virginia has a chance either way. So no. Now, if they make it to the Final Four, I will. If they make it to the Final Four, and if I have some money, I will get on Facebook Live and eat a snack size of the Carolina Reaper wings that Buffalo Wild Wings have. If they make it to the Final Four, I will do it. I will be on Facebook Live. You know, I want everybody to listen. If Virginia makes it to the Final Four, and when I have some money, whenever I have some money, I am going to go up to Buffalo Wild Wings, order me the snack size, that's like 6 wings, of the blazing buffalo wings. That's actually Carolina Reaper wings with blue cheese dressing. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna get a drink of water. I'm not gonna sip no beer, and I'm not gonna wipe my hands. I'm gonna eat them damn wings, and I'm gonna let that hot juice just soak in for a minute and just figure to myself, how in the fuck Virginia get to the Final Four? If they do that, I'm gonna meet it. I'm going on Facebook Live and I'm gonna eat them damn wings live. And Carolina Reaper is the hottest pepper there is.
Yeah. And my boy Marcus Johnson, he said UCF had 3 mental breakdowns in the last 2 minutes that doomed him. I totally agree.
I definitely agree too. And Marcus, which brings me to this question. This guy, the guy hit me up, a guy by the name of Sean here in Memphis. Who got, truth be told, UCF got screwed, did they not? Yes. Yes. They got screwed. Period. Ain't no way in the hell, but what's his name? Taco Fall had fouled Zion Williamson when he drove to the hoop, and they did not call that charge on Zion.
I disagree. That was a foul.
Okay, but there was also a foul on Zion Williamson though when he charged dude, and then what I was disappointed with Taco Fall about was the fact that this man had the rebound. RJ Barrett goes over the back. Now, if you go over the back, isn't that a foul?
If you go over
he gonna go over the back. Yeah.
That is a foul. But Taco Fall definitely committed a foul there. In that.
Okay, but now I'm talking about the one when RJ Barrett went over the back on this man. Got up high in the fucking air and got a fucking rebound over this man. I'm like, ain't no fucking way in the hell. And then he got away with a travel call. And I'm put like this: RJ Barrett get away with more travel calls more than LeBron do. I mean, that man that traveled like a motherfucker all through that game. Yes, Central Florida got hosed. Period. I also have to agree with Stephen A. Smith. They exposed that Central Florida exposed Duke.
No, they didn't. I have to disagree with that because first of all, the guy already was an assistant coach for a number of years. Most of that motion offense have not changed for the most part. It's just he makes certain adjustments throughout the course of the year to where people don't figure it out. But like Johnny Dawkins have been working with him long enough to know what type of adjustments he makes. When you're an assistant coach under somebody, you know what type of habits they have. So that no, he really didn't expose them, to be honest with you, because the same problem they had the same problem the entire year. The same problem that Duke has had from the first of the year has been the same problem they've had throughout the entire year. So that's not really exposing them. To be honest with you, they really didn't expose them. It was just a familiarity thing versus being exposed. Because if we're going to go there, Gonzaga exposed them. If you want to go there, hell, if you want to go there, shit, Syracuse exposed them when they beat them. You know what I'm saying? So it's
talking about Central Florida, Duke.
I'm speaking when it comes to Duke. Duke was exposed against Gonzaga. Duke was exposed against Syracuse. But Johnny Dawkins.
Oh, they always gonna be exposed against Syracuse, depending on what team Jim Boeheim had.
But I'm saying with Johnny Dawkins understands Coach K. You know what I'm saying? His habits. So when you're an assistant coach, you know a guy's game plan. Just like if you're a defensive coordinator playing against the same offense for a number of years, you're gonna know what type of habits they have. Same thing with what's the guy's name? Tom Coughlin and Bill Belichick. He worked with him for about 8-10 years at the New York Giants. So he knew what type of he knew what type of defensive system he's gonna run. Bill Belichick's defensive system haven't changed. You know what I'm saying? No. So that's the thing about being an assistant coach. When you're an assistant coach for as long as Johnny Dawkins was under Coach K, because he worked with Coach K for 10 years as an assistant coach. And then he recruited some of those guys that because from what I understand, Johnny Dawkins recruited Jay Williams, from what I understand.
Yeah, he did.
It was more so he was familiar with Coach K. But is everybody else going to be able to take advantage and capitalize off that situation? No. I don't see nobody else being able to capitalize off that same situation that Johnny Dawkins did. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, UCF had an opportunity to go up by 6. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to call that a robbery when you had an opportunity to blow this game away. When dude trying to be fancy with the alley-oop shit. Later, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, he blew it. Yeah, Johnny Dawkins' son, he blew that. Motherfucker wasn't paying attention. Then he gonna land and gonna laugh. That shit ain't funny, dog. Getting shit. That shit is not funny. You missed a potential game-winning dunk. That ain't funny. And then you gonna then when y'all lose the game, you gonna sit there and cry. But then when you miss the alley-oop, you gonna laugh. That shit is not funny.
Exactly.
What'd be funny is if you was laughing in excitement, if you had made that dunk, that would have put them away. But you gonna laugh when you missed the dunk because you weren't paying attention? That's not funny.
Exactly, man. Exactly. That's not funny. And you gotta respect the fact that he gotta respect the fact that I'm looking at that charge, dude. That was a blocking foul. That was a foul that should have been called. I don't see that as a charge, dude. Yeah, he was moving, man. So I'm looking at on a highlight reel. So no, that wasn't a charge, bro.
Okay, well, but still, I still felt Duke got lucky there. But I don't know how they're gonna fare against Virginia Tech. And we all know Duke.
Now that offensive rebound, he was over the back, so that should have been a foul call. But the charge, I don't see a charge. He was just blocked. He was just in dude's way, and there's a reason why the officials let the contact. Now I will say on the last shot that was a foul. The last shot was a foul.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, shot. So yeah, I was going back. I was like, no, that wasn't a charge. And shout out to my boy Marcus Johnson, man, in the chat room, and my boy Zeke as well, man. Talk away too, man, in the chat room, man. Be active in the chat room.
That's what I'm saying. If you got questions, like I said, if you got questions, don't be scared. Marcus, if you got some questions, ask.
Questions, comments, concerns, whatever. Let us know, man. Shit in the shit.
Okay, now this question, we're gonna answer. We got a couple more questions to ask, but then I'm gonna answer this. What we're gonna do? I'm gonna answer this question, then we're gonna move on to the topics. This one is for me. It was under the Let's Draw on Something. From a young lady by the name of Mia. Mia from Memphis, Tennessee. She said, "Hello, Craig." She said, a while back on Facebook, you had posted something in a group about the do's and don'ts for a certain leadership position at FedEx when you were working there, when you worked at your old place of employment, FedEx. I also had went on your YouTube page and watched the episode and thoroughly entitled its best with the entitled "Leadership" in quotes at your employment. I have to agree with what you said, and I also have to agree with something what Jimmy J. Smooth said about professional tact. And you had mentioned something about an old rampage you used to work with. You said two ramp agents. You said one guy by the name of David and the other guy by Zach. Could you tell me more about how you handled their situations of unprofessionalism and what was resolved? Alicia. Okay. Well, I'm thinking, looking at something else here. Old email. My bad, Mia. I'm sorry, Mia. Well, that's good that you did your research and everything. We got no problems with that. And for the note, I got on Jimmy J's podcast. I think this is back in the summertime, and my problems with the gentleman by the name of David B, it no longer exists because he later acknowledged that he had, when we had talked and settled the beef that I had with him, that that he in some way, shape, or form, he could be a prick at times. He was a prick at times, but he's gotten a little bit better now. And, and like I said, I have, and he was very forthcoming and acknowledged the fault that he has is the fact that, when he's at work, he never acknowledged the people that he works with. So I do have a lot of respect. Matter of fact, I have a lot of respect for any man or woman of that matter that will admit to another grown person that they have a fault that they're working on. So I have no problem about that. But he did acknowledge how much how unprofessional he was, and then said at the time, the flight that we on was pretty high maintenance. The Miami Flight 55 international flight. Now, does that ring a bell to you, Jimmy?
Man, 55. I've been out of FedEx so long.
Yeah.
What exactly the
it was MIA, Miami, and it was Miami, international. Okay, and it was international, and they dealt with Bogota, Venezuela, and domestic Miami and stuff like that. They were so, and I was gonna go ahead and say it, they were so fucking high maintenance. Their high maintenance was so high. They would put a fucking they would put a fucking hood rat's high maintenance to shame. That's how fucking high maintenance they was and high pressure demand. Oh, we need that. We got to have this and that. And then they wanted they rampage to report every little fucking thing that went wrong. Instead, not only just something that was major, it's just something minor. Like I said, I've been out of FedEx game long, and I got a right to spoil this. So, spoil alert: if that plane is grounded because of a maintenance issue, first and foremost, you got to call GOCC, let them know what's up. Okay, that's really the control tower. Then it's a whole chain. Then GOCC gonna call that ramp and let them know what's going on. All right. So tell me why the fuck, when, just say for example, because there was one time, and David told me this, because he said he got so pissed off about it. Yeah. Plane went down for a minute because it was a maintenance issue. It was a good thing we didn't transload the plane. That was a good thing. Matter of fact, because it wasn't it wasn't no fuel in the damn plane. Okay.
Right.
He called GOCC to let them know, hey, we had a fuel issue because something wasn't topped off on the fuel. Okay. So GOCC called the Miami Flight 55. I don't know what they are now. Well, they're something else now. They're domestic international now. So GOCC called the Miami International flight at the time, the Miami ramp. So tell me why the fuck the Miami ramp calls the ramp agents to want a thorough explanation as to why there wasn't any fuel on the plane. I'm dead fucking serious.
Mm-hmm.
They would do that shit, people. So if you are rampaging at FedEx or a rampage and UPS has them, or let alone the airport, be expecting some stupid ass questions like that. Be expecting some stupid ass rams to get stupid and ask you shit when it's already been told by folks that's out of people's control. But the answer, but like I said, but the way I handled David at that time, and we both acknowledged it. I stood up to him, and here's one story that I can tell. And I told David, I said, you almost got jacked up by me one time when you walked away from me. And David acknowledged. He said, yeah. He said, I knew I fucked up when I did that by walking away. I said, yeah, you did. Okay, so we talked about it. So on that issue, bygones are bygones on that one. Now the Zach guy, on the other hand, his name is Zach Cook, and he's somewhere down in Florida. And to quote Congressman Democratic Congressman Alcee Hastings, who's a representative for Florida. Florida is the most craziest ass state ever, beside Texas, your hometown state now, Jimmy. Zach had a very great guy. I don't know how he is now, but back then when I worked with him, Zach had attack level 0. Matter of fact, he had a lack of thereof as far as tact went, and his leadership skills were suspect. I wouldn't trust him to lead my mom across a busy street with her being blind. I wouldn't trust him to lead my mom across a busy street. That's how bad his leadership skills are. He'll probably tell my mom if the street busy and the light red, oh, we can walk over, and then she get hit. That's how bad his leadership skills were. I'm not making a slight at my mom or nothing like that. So don't get it twisted, y'all. Sometimes, man, like I said, Zach was a great guy, but however, he had several faults with me that rubbed me the wrong way. I maybe rubbed him the wrong way. I didn't care. And like I said, his lack of tact was one. And you don't mix. And he had a little personal jealousy with me that I already knew about, that I had a knowing about just by his body language. And matter of fact, his tact level was so bad. Communication, as Jimmy stressed on here, Mia. Communication is also part of leadership, being a very effective leader. That is one thing. I know you asked that in the question. If you plan on being an effective leader, you must be a very effective and tactful communicator. Don't bust nobody out in front of their peers. That's not gonna make you look good. That's gonna make you look bad.
Exactly.
And Jimmy has said that on here. Because believe me, if you're going to take that position, Mia, and if you decide to do that, I'm telling you now, get prepared to get your ass chewed out. I don't mean to be mean, but get prepared to get an ass chewing. If you got a problem, if you're in leadership, you have a problem with an employee, you pull them to the side. Zach wasn't like that. The old saying is, if there's a problem or something, whether it's a person or something that you got going on at the house or something you fixing on at the house, you track down the source of the problem. I kind of like was the source of his problem, but see, Zach didn't believe in confronting the source. He would confront the alternative fact, which was my father, which was Pops. And then I get information from the alternative fact. And I had to confront Zach several times. So like, dude, I said, I asked you one time, matter of fact, I told you one time, if you got a problem with me, don't go to him. Don't go to my father, dude. We grown men. Well, I ain't got it. When he told me, well, I ain't got to go to you if I got a problem with you. Oh, you don't? And I just said, oh, okay. I said, okay. And I just let him know. I said, well, the only thing I say is this. If I find out you went to him about a problem in regards about a problem with me again, we gonna have a problem. He wasn't, and he was a moody little bitch, like all people born under the sign of cancer. Not you, Jimmy. Because I read up, like I said, I read up on the people that are born in July, in early July as a Cancer. They can be some moody motherfuckers. And he was moody, and he was private, and it was very bullshit about a lot of stuff. But then when I found out more about him, his dad was a missionary, so I guess that's code for preacher. So that makes Zach a preacher's kid. He didn't delve too much talking about his mom or something like that, and really I don't want to go on shots like that, but. Sometimes at times I treated Zach so me, and I'm saying it like this. And when you mentioned something about with my last confrontation, 2 rampages, David and Zach, I treated Zach like they say the old saying go, as my grandma used to say. Sometimes you got people like that, you have to treat with a long handle spoon. You're gonna have to treat some people with a long handle spoon, and sometimes you gonna have to, and people, if you come across some people, you gotta have to treat some people with all fairness, treat them the way you want to be treated. Whereas some people that come across as dicks or whatever, you have to treat with a long handle spoon. I treated Zach at the time with a long handle spoon because it was a lot of professional. He had. I ain't gonna say he had professional jealousy. It was more like personal jealousy because he would take personal shots. Like, for example, I don't understand how a guy like you can be in the military, you still fuck up. So I can understand. I said, well, I don't understand how a guy can be here all this long with FedEx and not actually do any damn work. This was coming from a guy that one time told me, Jimmy, talking about it say something in the Rampage handbook that a Rampage got to touch a box. I said, make so say so in your handbook because your ass don't work as hard. You come up in here, sit all day, talk shit about everybody. That's just the honest truth. And it's just the honest truth. I said, I told him this face one time, and I told him this to his face. I said, man, you're not a good leader. I haven't seen you lead nothing. I said, man, I said, hell, I had a dog at the time. Just before I made this little nice little nash about my mom. I said, my dog wouldn't trust you to walk her. So what makes you think I can trust you as a leader? Because you're not that good. And he wasn't. And and sometimes he let his little personal problems and feelings kind of get in the way on some things because he, and like I was saying with him, between me and him, we had a lot of he was jealous of me because like he would take shots at me about, yeah, your dad, I say, I wish I could afford the luxury to stay with my parents rent free. I'm like, no, first of all, bro, I wasn't staying in no rent free. I wasn't staying in my parents rent free. I would give my mom $200 a month. No, $200 every month. Depending on how much, she said, depending on how much your check is. She said, you can do it this way. You can give me to $150 in the beginning of the month or $150 toward the month, you straight. Basically $300 a month to help out with some things. So I wasn't living rent free. Yeah, I lived by their rules, but they knew I had my own rules too. I stayed those times I stayed out late at night and shit like that. One time I came home at like 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 8, matter of fact, 8 o'clock one Saturday fucking morning. Because they knew I was having fun. And what the fuck they look like saying something to me, getting on me about me coming that late, or a grown man coming home that late? Nothing. Yeah. I mean, he didn't, I went to college, I went to the service, and then I have a talent. So, and I attributed the fact that he was jealous because of the fact that I accomplished more outside of FedEx, and let alone was before FedEx, than what he did in it. Because, that's all he knows. But, when I found out a little bit about him later, because he was getting stressed out because, his girlfriend at the time, who's now his wife, she's dealing with, from last I heard, I don't mean to blab his business, I believe she's dealing with lupus. And, that's something you don't play with, because he kind of told on himself when he asked me one time, he was asking me, did I know something about lupus medication? I just said, well, the only thing I know is this. Because he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the first one to ask me. It was another one. It was a girl I dated. She has a twin sister that has it as well. I said, well, all I know, the fact is, Lupus is a disease where your immune system basically turn on you until you can get basically they tell you to go fuck yourself. You're on your own until you can get it back right. You know, and you can't miss, and whatever medication is provided, you can't miss a dosage, because if you miss a dosage, you're fucked. I said, that's all I know. Because he knew at the time I was taking pharmacy tech. This is back in 2005. When I was going to Remington. I mean, he had asked me about that. I said, well, why, what's up? He said, no, I just want to know. I said, oh, okay. Because see, he was known to tell a select few about what was going on in his personal life. But, you know, me having the ears and just kind of like acting like I wasn't listening, but I was. I was kind of more to know what was going on with him. So Mia, we went back to you with your question. That, you know, that's how I handled them too. But you know, sometimes you got to sometimes some good leaders need to be set straight. Some other quote unquote leaders, they need to be handled along with long handled spoon, because if they don't have any tact. And it was something and I'm a big God of War fan. Okay, and I recently played the game God of War. Kratos, the main character Kratos, said a damn good quote, and it's true to this day. He said, good leaders takes up the responsibility of leadership, but he said, but it's the great leaders that takes up the responsibility and the choices they make. I'm gonna have to find that quote, but it was so fucking true.
Yeah.
So I hope that answered Mia's question. Other than that, on that regard, you got anything you want to add to that to help out there, Jimmy, before we move on?
Yeah, main thing is don't try to bust anybody out, and main thing is listen to people. You know, I would suggest before anybody put a position of leadership, learn how to be a good listener first. Because when Craig first met me, I was predominantly a listener more than I am a talker. And that's how I'm able to articulate myself at the point that I can articulate myself right now, because I was more of a listener than I was a talker. I observe situations, do research on situations, and then pretty much figure out a solution analyze a solution to the problem. And then, you know, at that point, you know what I'm saying, become, you know what I'm saying, the person that I am now. So main thing, before you start being able to pop your gums, and it's going to take a while, especially if you're a young manager at FedEx or wherever you plan on being a manager at or whatnot, you know, just listen to people out. Sometimes you can solve a problem just by listening to what the fuck people got to say. You got so many people that enjoys talking that they talk so goddamn much that they ain't talking about a goddamn thing. And people got to learn how not to talk so goddamn much and hear shit out, you know.
Yep.
And don't just be a head listener, be an active listener and apply what needs to be applied to the situation so people can be respectful. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is when it comes to that, man. So, you know, learn how to be tactful, be as tactful as you could possibly can. Because some situations you got to bust a motherfucker out sometimes. You know, because some people will try to test your gangster, but if you don't need to be gangster on nobody, and when I say gangster, that means verbal gangster. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, stay as tactful as you possibly can, and try to understand conflict resolutions as well. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and another thing.
What's the next?
Oh, hold on, but we're gonna talk about Alonzo in a minute. But another thing, let me add on to this here. The strongest person, and here's something you got to remember too, Mia. The strongest person in the room is the silent one, and the loudest one is the weakest. Don't be the louder, be the former.
Totally agree.
Don't be the loud. You know, I ain't calling you this. Don't be the loudest nigga in the room to get attention. Or him, because I'm gonna tell you something. If you're gonna be a ramp agent, or if you're gonna be a manager, you're gonna have one that's gonna be loud as fuck. That's gonna be your weakest one. And I'm gonna tell you another. And here's another one that I can add on this. That's also the weakest. These ones that's phony tough. They tougher than a $2. They call themselves being tough. They call themselves being tougher than a $2 steak, and they're not. So they're weak. But you gotta have to watch out for that one. And oh, by the way, and on that note, Jimmy, Zach was the one that I told you about that the David gentleman and I was talking about when we settled our beef. The Zach guy was the one I told you about that went back to him and says Craig gonna make me kick his ass. And David laughed and he was like, he said, well, okay, well, I tell you what, when he get through, you come holler at me. That meant, yeah, and David admitted, he said, yeah, he said, because I warned Zach, he said, okay, when he beat your ass, don't come running to me, come telling me, should have did this and that. But but David admitted that time. Hey, cause see about me, man, and I'm gonna talk about them on a future episode of when I worked with my father with that work group in 2004, because the first manager I with, he was a great guy, but you know, he was a creep on nothing wrong levels, if you get my drift on that verse. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, because a lot of people that realize that Jimmy know me, hey, I ain't no fucking punk. Because you get up in my face, or if you walking off talking your shit, you best believe I'm gonna walk behind you and tell you. Okay, that same shit you walking off talking shit to me behind my back and telling your friends, say it to my face. Jimmy has seen me confront somebody and they couldn't say nothing. I said, yeah, that's what I thought. And I called him a weak ass nigga in front of their face. Yes, that's what I thought. Because you're gonna have at any job, you're gonna have some weak ass motherfuckers. Totally. You got some weak ass managers too. And that's why they don't last long. Okay. Now I didn't have some good ones. Now when I was working out there at our old employment, I had some damn good ones. My guy from Michigan, he ain't no punk neither. He gonna keep it real with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
But man, you know, I ain't saying no name, but you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. He gonna keep it real with you, man. He was best manager I had, bar none. He was fair. Exactly. So, but man, but we're gonna answer some questions later. But in real life news, man, I just saw I hit you up on the Sport Talk and Entertainment group about the lawyer. Trump's side piece's lawyer, he could be facing possibly up to 100 large in prison for extortion charges and mail fraud and everything else. But here's the question I beg to differ. Of all people you want to extort, why the fuck would you want to fuck with Nike?
If this is true,
I sent you that link. It looks true because they're saying everything that's against him, he could be facing up to 100 years in prison, and and even if he doesn't face that much jail time, he's gonna be debarred for a while.
If this is true, because that's what I have to say that for legal purposes, because he's not found guilty or in front of a court of law, but
he's innocent until proven guilty.
Yes. So if this is true, he has to be the dumbest motherfucker in the history of lawyers to do some fool ass shit like that. If this is true, he needs to be kicked up. When he go to jail, they need to kick him in the jail cell by all the wardens in that motherfucker, all the wardens in the state of New York or wherever the hell he's located. Every warden in the jail, all of them just need to line up and kick this motherfucker in the jail cell, literally. If he's that fucking stupid, but we'll see. If he pleads guilty, then I'll make a judgment. But and until then, you know, like you say, it looks like he's guilty, but we'll see. So it is what it is when it comes to that.
And when you got numerous charges of fraud on you, man, and damn, 100 fucking years, and you trying to extort a damn near $1 trillion company like Nike. Like I said, you gotta be a stupid motherfucker. You gotta be stupid as hell to do some shit like that, man. For real.
Real shit. Real shit. So I can't even.
Hell, this day and age, they don't give a fuck. You trying to extort a mom and pop store for $100, you still gonna go to jail.
Exactly.
Extortion, embezzlement. I mean, and everything else. I mean, and fraud. Them the two things you don't want to go to jail for.
Most definitely.
Man, okay. Got a toss up here. Yesterday, University of California fired their coach, Joaquin Jones, for 2 seasons after he posted a 16-47 record 2 seasons into the school. Now, 16-47. So do the math. So 16 divided into 2 is 8. And 2 divided into 47. So let's see. That's 2, 4, 3. So he went 8-24 1 year and then 8-23 the next. So yeah, that's liable to get your ass on out the door. But rumors abound is that California is seeking former, and you were dead right on this, former California Golden Bear player who's currently in their Hall of Fame, and NBA player Jason Kidd, if he's Hall of Fame, I believe. Yeah, he is a Hall of Famer for the coach position. But also, there's an interesting hook to this story. Jimmy J. Smooth brought to my attention that, well, matter of fact, I don't know who it was. Matter of fact, I saw it on The Herd that Cuttino Mobley and Colin Cowherd were talking about Jason Kidd maybe the next coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. So the toss-up is this, and then I'm asking you, Jimmy J, where should he go? Back to where it started or stay in the NBA?
I would like to see what he gonna do on the college ranks. That's first thing. But the thing is, if the LA Lakers hand you that $12 million contract for whatever time your ass is gonna be on, I think this is a double-edged sword right here. So it's like that's a trick. I say go for the money, me personally. But I would love to. I wouldn't mind seeing him in college though. That's my thing though. So that's a little tricky one right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him seeing what he'll do in college. Because it'd be nice to see him on the Cal sideline and see what he's gonna do. Because I mean, I give it to him. He laid at Milwaukee. He laid the foundation down for Mike Budenholzer to roll with that team.
Exactly.
And now Milwaukee, and in more ways than one, you got Jason Kidd to thank for basically putting Milwaukee back on the map. Now, granted, you know what is also a reported reason why he got fired. There's a lot of things that's going on, but Kidd has been having a lot of he don't know how to leave a lot of shit alone because I think his son plays ball too, Trey. And if everybody remembers Joe Montekidd, you know they had some little beef about that shit. He had some, from what it was said, you know, Jason Kidd basically had let his outside issues interfere with his professional stuff. Let's just put it like that. Don't want to go into detail about it. I mean, what person doesn't? You know, sometimes a person let their professional life interfere with their family life. You know, that's why you got a lot of these coaches getting divorces now. Getting divorces and jumping into marriages they ain't ready for and shit like that. You know, but
he been having marital issues as a player because I remember one of his ex-wives came at one of the basketball games and got on his case
Jamana. Yeah, Jamana. That's Trey's mama.
Yeah, so yeah, he's been having personal issues with marriages for quite a while. So that's not nothing new right there. So the thing with Jason Kidd, I think he's a good coach. I think he's a good coach. And
hold up, Jimmy, keep talking.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach. I think he should actually go in the college ranks, but it's hard to turn down billions of dollars, especially with the best, with arguably the best franchise in history, man. And I have to say this, man. I mean, a lot of Boston Celtic fans will be like, well, they're not the best franchise. Well, the record speaks for itself. They have 17 championships. The Celtics have 17 championships. So it could be argued either way. So when they offer you $12, $15 million to take the job, that's what the fuck you do. And if you feel like you're not up to the job, either you step down or you step down and let them know, hey man, I did the best I can, and it is what it is. Now LeBron, being the player that he is, the superstars, and like I said in the sports chat, superstars are gonna be hard to coach. Hell, in the beginning, in the early stages of Phil Jackson coaching the Bulls, Phil Jackson had a hard time with Michael Jordan. So that's one of those things when you got probably the best player in the NBA, which could be argued between Curry and Durant, quite a few players. Right now, Giannis is in that conversation as well. So, but anyway.
Yeah, I got a question for you about that Giannis thing, but go ahead. Because we're still talking about Jason Kidd.
But when you got arguably probably the best player in the league, maybe three other guys got a case for that moniker, but not too many more, because LeBron got 3 championships, they got 3 championships, Durant got 2 championships. Giannis is having a beast of a season. So, he's laid the foundation for Giannis. He's laid the foundation for Middleton, the guys, because granted, because you had guys that was averaging. You have 5 guys on the Denver. I mean, not the Denver, but the Milwaukee Bucks team averaging 15 points a game minimal. You got 4 guys, damn near 5. You know what I'm saying? When Jason Kidd was there, he had 5 guys averaging in double figures. You know what I'm saying? His last full season there, and then right before they fired him. So the foundation was already set. You know what I'm saying? For I can't even pronounce his name. I am not finna kill this dude's name because it's crazy.
Budenholzer.
Budenholzer. You know what I'm saying?
And for the record, Budenholzer kept the interim coach because he asked Milwaukee management if he could. So that's a good plus there.
Exactly.
Because that dude, when he took over from Milwaukee and got them to the playoffs, he did a damn good job. But
exactly.
But Budenholzer kept him. He asked Milwaukee to keep him because he can't, and they're playing defense. And I think, but really, I'm gonna tell you what it was. So I think when Kidd coached Milwaukee, they lacked the offense, but they had a defense.
I have to respectfully disagree with that because
You don't think they had an offense? The reason why I said they didn't have no offense was because you never know what they're gonna do. Yeah, true enough, they scored some shitload of points, but what the fuck?
But he also made Giannis play defense.
Yep.
He was the foundation of that because Giannis wasn't playing defense worth a shit. And Jason Kidd got on his ass about playing defense. His defense, because Giannis was in the top 15 in every major statistical category except 3-pointers. You know what I'm saying?
Now he is now under Budenholzer.
Under Budenholzer, yeah. But that's the
now under Budenholzer he is in the 3-point category.
Yeah, so but Kidd was the foundation of making that dude play defense. That's the same thing with Steph Curry. Steph Curry was not playing defense before Mark Jackson, and Mark Jackson made him play defense, and he started leading the league in steals right before Kirk came. You know what I'm saying? Because he was leading the league in steals way before, and he made Klay Thompson play defense as well. So that the foundation was already set there. You had already 5 guys in double figures a game when Jason Kidd was there. Only thing Budenholzer may have added was the motion offense that he got from Greg Popovich prior to him leaving there. That's the only thing he brought down there. He brought the motion offense, which in turn, had them averaging more points, but they still had an offense before that. You know what I'm saying? So the work of Giannis is pretty much him at that point. You know what I'm saying? But that's not away from Budenholzer, because Budenholzer shouldn't have never got fired at Atlanta. He built a foundation right after Woodson left. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much laid the groundwork took them to the conference championship, their first conference championship since they ass was in St. Louis. So, you know what I'm saying?
And Atlanta, they suck now.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Shit. They suck now, but I have been noticing Trae Young has gotten a little bit better under this coach because he ain't taking old wild ass shots like he did at Oklahoma. Yeah, but my Giannis question, did you hear about the comments he made about the him not being regarded as the face of the NBA?
Nigga, you got ways to go.
No, but no. He ain't mad. It's just the fact that they said something. It was something about that. He ain't. Something about they said something about that he ain't what LeBron is or everybody else is. But and I kind of agree. I understand. True, he got a long ways to go. But however, let's face it, people just got to accept Giannis for is what he is, man. Do you hear Giannis being on ESPN for a DUI? No. Do you hear Giannis in the news on ESPN or anywhere else, or mainly up there in the fuck city like Milwaukee, about him beating up on a woman? No. I mean, it's nothing wrong with him being himself. But, like you said, he got a long ways to go. And if you know the comments I'm talking about, yeah, he got a long ways to go, but people got to accept motherfuckers of who they is. I mean, if they used to that, that's fine, because you can't, and they can't sit up and say, well, I ain't never heard nothing about Giannis doing this and that for the city of Milwaukee or from wherever he came from. He done a lot for the city of Milwaukee. He done several things for the city of Milwaukee. You contributed to youth and community centers. He gave back to his home country twice.
Exactly.
So he's the face in my book. He's the face of the NBA. He ain't got to have no special privileges like LeBron and all the other shit. Talking about having the Giannis game show and all this other shit all on CBS, or some of the little shit like what LeBron they have on CBS Wednesday night, Extreme Race, executive producer LeBron James, and all this shit and all that. But no, man. I mean, people just got to learn. People just gonna have to learn to accept Giannis for who he is. Just him being Giannis.
Yeah, I mean, he
like Jordan. Jordan was the face of the NBA for a while. Mm-hmm. You ever heard this man on the news? We ain't never heard nothing on this news negative about this man, about him beating his wife, his then wife, who I would say here live in the chat room that my mom went to high school with. And like I said, she had some stories about Juanita and her sisters. I can't say on there. But you never heard nothing about Jordan doing this, doing that, hit and run, and all this other stuff. What's the main thing you've been hearing about with Michael Jordan? About his gambling habits. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
He played high stakes poker. One thing I want no bones about it. I mean, yeah, him and Charles Barkley, they cool. Jordan's an Aquarius, Barkley's a Pisces. Fish got to swim in water, right? So yeah, they pretty cool. They're both high end gamblers, man. And Barkley even said that he saw Jordan bet. He didn't get a disclosed amount. He said he lost half of it. He turned around, he won it all back plus some, and he left in a high stakes poker game.
Well, Aquarius are known for being gamblers by nature anyway, because they're rebellious. They have a rebellious nature anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? So that's that's a same thing with Leos. Leos have gambling habits as well. So that's one of those things. Those particular people and stuff like that. But Michael Jordan. What's the guy you said that said that Michael Jordan told him you can't bet like me? Antoine Walker ass. He said
no. Jordan told Antoine Walker you can't bet like him.
Exactly.
And Antoine did it any motherfucker when he said Jordan chewed his ass out.
And he should have. He should have.
Fat bass, fat fuck.
Yeah, he should have chewed his stupid ass out.
But about with this kid situation though, I think if he go to the Lakers, he could benefit Lonzo Ball a lot.
Oh yes, because Lonzo already has the defensive skills. So
Kid will probably have him working on his jump shot.
Oh yeah, because people don't realize how good of a jump shooter that Jason Kidd was, because he has one of the highest percentage in history. You know what I'm saying? He didn't shoot it like you see guys like James Harden and Steph Curry doing now. You know what I'm saying? He was, he only shot that shot when he was wide open, but Kidd was more of a driver.
He was deadly with it too, boy. Woo.
Oh, Kidd, a guy who took it to the hole or took it to the hole to get other people, wide open and stuff like that. So that was one of those things with Jason Kidd that made him a great basketball player, man. Because he was a team first guy. He wasn't about scoring, even though he could score 40 points, he could score 30 points. But he was about, hey, let me get this triple double. Let me get this assist right here. Let me dish it to Dirk so he can take us home to the championship. Let me get wide open so I can make this 3-pointer and not take no crazy ass 3-point shot. So
and what a lot of people don't know, but I'm gonna tell you one thing though. In the '93 season, Jason Kidd and Lamar Murray did us the biggest solid ever was when they eliminated Duke. I was so proud of that. Jason Kidd, when they eliminated Duke, because everybody wanted to see Duke and Kansas in the Sweet 16. Like, that shit ain't happening. And Jason Kidd damn near got a triple double on their ass. And it was like every year, Jason Kidd had led, I think as a freshman, he had the most triple doubles in a season. And then his sophomore year, he did it again. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, and he was on a basketball squad with Tony Gonzalez. He was on a basketball squad with the villain in the movie. What was that? What was that movie with Tyler Perry movie? Temptation, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
He was the villain. He actually played basketball with those guys, and they were pretty decent.
And let's not forget Lamar Murray.
Yeah, Lamar Murray. So he had some pretty talented guys. With the guy in the movie Temptation, he was so good of an actor because they have a good acting school at UC Berkeley. People talk about UCLA and USC, but they have a pretty decent acting school to where he was like, hey, he chose acting. So Jason Kidd, had a damn good squad, man. It's just the coaching, was hit or miss when he went to Cal, but he carried that team, man. And then him coming out of high school, he's the all-time leader in steals coming out of high school. You know what I'm saying? And he's in the high school, the NHS Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying, for his contributions for his high school career as well. Of course, he's Leroy Carter at Hillcrest is right behind him. You know what I'm saying? As well, you know what I'm saying on that list. But Jason Kidd, hell of a player, and if he takes the Lakers job, he's got to bring it. He's got to bring it. Lakers job, but if he takes the Cal job, I'm not gonna be mad at him. If he takes the Lakers job, I'm not mad at him. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I say, that Lakers job is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Because I think he can always get that UC Berkeley job as well. So if he take the Lakers job and it don't do too well, he can always get that UC Berkeley job, go back to his hometown, get some guys, because his talent out there in the Bay Area in basketball is all over California. Basketball You know, that's basketball country, just like the state of New York. So he's going to always get that opportunity to be able to coach in college basketball, and he's going to always get that opportunity to coach at UC Berkeley, especially if the coaches, you know, with the garbage ass coaches they didn't had over the last years or so, don't live up to expectation.
Well, you got a name like Joaquin Jones, waiting your shit. Where you find somebody else like him at?
Exactly, man. So I mean, he should know that in California, people love their basketball. You know what I'm saying? So
they loving their football too. So, but and now to the creme de la creme. Speaking of Lonzo Ball, found out, watched a little thing on Undisputed, my favorite show, and I recommend everybody check that out because I think it's better than the first flake of a mistake on ESPN. I kind of feel bad, you know. We foreshadowed this to happen because when LeVar Ball got talking all that shit, and when Shannon Sharpe said it took him 3 months to get his first pair of Big Baller brand shoes, we foreshadowed that to happen. And Chris Broussard, if y'all know who Chris Broussard is, he's the guy that always say, my source is. Well, he doesn't say his sources anymore. Now he works for Fox. Him and Shannon was ragging on the Big Baller shoes. He said, you know, they look good, but if you're a security guard or a night watchman, there's a Shannon. I think it was either Shannon Sharpe or Chris Broussard. It was Shannon. He said them Big Baller shoes is only good. He said if you a security guard at night, they can make good work shoes for a security guard. And Chris Broussard said he said we called them buddies. Back in the day, they were buddies. That's them buddy shoes. So I feel bad. First and foremost, I'm glad Lonzo woke up. And you can mainly fault this on his pops, man. Because anytime in the Better Business Bureau you're having a shitload of bad reviews by saying that they're online, when you shopping online, they don't have a grasp of the online ordering process or the online order shipping process or whatever, what that tell you. And hold up. But then it was said that when Lonzo found out about how much they was gonna be in the hole with this, said LeVar said the email was sent to LeVar in October and said he had just not read it last week about how much money they was losing. Well, go ahead.
Well, with the Better Business Bureau is really not the police of business. Let's just be clear about that, because all you got to do is pay them $100,000 and basically make them go away. You know what I'm saying? Because my mentor have told me this years ago, and this is a fact. So they're not the police of good business by any stretch of the imagination. As far as this is concerned, LeVar should have known better, because he hired this guy to bring the foundation of their family empire, and for this man to piss on this dude's empire is highly disrespectful. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to LeVar Ball, with Lonzo Ball, if he feel like he need to back out and get him a better deal, then that's his decision right there. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer him to, make his own shoe brand or whatnot. But if he feel like he need to go to Nike, which they're going to pay him a shitload of money to,
oh hell yeah,
to join their brand, because they were trying to hook him up. But I guess it don't hurt to try. I'll say that on LeVar Ball's part. Good try, but he could have did better business as well. as far as his thing. When you're doing business, you gotta when you do business, you gotta do good business and not nigga shit business. And that's where it failed right there. You know, with the better business, you could pay them hoes off and be like, you know, hey, you know, put this up, give me an A rating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, if you marketing or something like that, you know, that's a good marketing employee, but you know, they're not the police. But with Lonzo Ball, it shouldn't take weeks, years, nigga shit days at a time for people to get their shit. You know, you should have a system to where at max, especially when you're dealing with people's shoes, because when you FedEx and that shit, when you UPS and that shit, you know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. Because we personally know, we've been in the hub for 10 years here, and however long my brother Craig Smith has been in there. We know what happens to items. 10. So both of us been there a total of 10 years. So, you know, combined 20, but 10 years for each one of us. So we know what time it is when it goes through the goddamn Memphis Word Hub.
Yeah. And see the thing,
you should have a system to where or no longer.
Yeah, and you know, and it is sad too. And Skip Bayless, man, ain't nothing negative. I like what he had said, because he said that, you know, he could tell that with LeVar being born and raised in Compton, you know, him basically being from the streets, you gotta have your bullshit detector on. You gotta have your bullshit detector on at all times. And Skip basically said, in a sense, based what you said, he felt that LeVar didn't have his bullshit detector on when it came to this dude. Because if he did, then this wouldn't, you know, report like this, or let alone what's going on in the Ball family, wouldn't be getting out. That's true. And you know, Max Kellerman had a nice little and he said some little insightful things too. He said something about, you know, with LeVar Ball, LeVar had that mindset about, you know, with the adage about, you know, parents live vicariously through their children or something like that. You know, and he said in some ways they shouldn't, and he said in some ways they don't. He said, but in LeVar's mind, it ain't no don't. He said he gonna live through them regardless, like what their accomplishments is and how much money they got. I'm raising my hand on this because I felt that, you know, God rest his soul, you know, my father, and in some parts, my mom's, some, and quote unquote, some parts, my mom's, you know, they had that aspect, but I had to, you know, I basically had to, you know, I had to cut Pops, you know, I had to cut Pops short on that. You know, it's like for example, when I did something for a comics company and I got paid, it was a nice little figure. He felt that, and I think I told the story, I believe I told the story on Let's Draw Something. He felt that I was supposed to get him 60% of that check, what I had, because you're talking about, well, we helped you get to, no, you didn't help me do nothing. You didn't help me ink this shit, come out of my money to FedEx this shit to back where it had to go, and all this and that and whatever. You weren't up all kinds of night, you know, waiting for a fucking phone call from somebody to say, hey, this is good, we're gonna send you your money here and there. No, you weren't there. So, and on that note, I feel that parents should never have to live vicariously through their children on the financial set at all. Matter of fact, not at all. I mean, you got to have your money set aside. You know, you got to have, and if there are some parents out there listening, listen up. You need to have your money set aside. You don't need to live through your children financially. If you got your money set aside, that's fine. But you better learn how to manage it, because if you have a grown child that's living with you, so for example, you know, help take care of you in the event with the death of a loved one, or you sick or whatever, and if said child is getting a little bit less or about the same as the sick parent with the little money or whatever, you're not entitled to asking for more. I mean, yeah, help them out financially. It's like it's a team. Hey, I help you pay this bill, this and that, yada yada. You should be straight. You shouldn't be. Oh man, I didn't paid rent. You got this and that because I'm overdrawn the bank. This and that. No, you need, parents. When you get older, man, you got to learn how to fucking budget your money.
And you should know how to budget your money when you get around your 20s or before you decide to have children. Because if you don't know how to budget with children, what makes you think you're gonna know how to budget it when their asses get grown?
Thank you.
That's my thing with that. You should know how to do that when you get in your 20s, or when you or way before you even decide to have children. And that's one of the biggest problems we have out here in our community. Well, I should say a lot of communities, because I can't just put this. It's just not a black thing as well. You know what I'm saying? It's just other groups have more leverage to we do. You know what I'm saying? So, but for a lot of people, this is across racial lines. A lot of people will have kids. They broke as hell. They piss poor broke as hell and can't do shit for them. And then you wondering why you up here robbing, stealing, and damn near killing motherfuckers just to feed your family, man. You should never have to be in no position like that, or ever be in a position like that to where you feel you have to go and violate another person just to feed your kids, man. And that's why I did the special about children, about my fellow black people, because it particularly addressed to black people, but other groups can listen and get a lot of game in that situation as well. People need to understand that when you have kids is automatically going to take away money out your bank account, bar none. Because, and my young homie is finding that out real fast. You know what I'm saying? And yes, he got support from his parents and stuff like that, because they pretty straight and stuff, but you still got to buy Pampers for the kids, whether your parents or your mother buys it for you or not. You still, got to give baby formula to that kid, whether your parents buy it or not.
Yep.
That kid still going to need to eat, whether you buy it for that kid or not. The kid's going to need clothing, because they're going to grow out of clothing every 3 to 6 months, in some cases every other month. So that's the fact that they're going to take away money as long as you have to raise them. You know what I'm saying? As long as they're under your roof and have no source of income coming in, they're going to take away money from your household. That's just the facts of life. So people got to think about, got to plan having kids as greatly as possible before they decide to have them. So go ahead and finish.
Yeah, because like what we were talking about on the podcast, look what Kobe Bryant, the shit that's going on, that was going on between Kobe Bryant and his parents. No, I mean, you getting, Kobe Bryant giving his parents a $2 million allowance every month, so your ass should be able to have fucking money.
And this is the crazy thing about his parents. His parents had fucking money. When Jelly Bean Bryant was playing, he had money. And when the kid, and Kobe did his best to do right by him. I'm not going to even sit up here and piss on Kobe, because that YouTube clip that he sent to me, I get that where he coming from, but I'm like, did you even read the article in ESPN when they said he gave him a $2 million a month allowance? You know what I'm saying?
I read that. He didn't. He didn't. Yeah. So when that came out, the ESPN say there's legal documents saying he give those guys allowance, and it's nothing wrong with in kids. It's nothing wrong with doing for your parents. But, and I think Kobe's sister was side with Kobe on that ordeal too. So
exactly, because you live in a house that 90% of people ain't gonna ever be able to live in that neighborhood. His parents' house is in a gated community. He doesn't live far from his parents. I think he lives in one side of the beach area, and his parents is not far away. But you have to get through there by a gate.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They live in a gated community.
Yeah, he has a crib in Italy too.
Exactly. Only thing you got to do is pay taxes on that bitch.
Yep.
And pay gas, water. And you're getting that mostly from Kobe. You know what I'm saying? So Jelly Bean and moms, because this wasn't just a mom's issue. Also, this was both their asses issue. You know, because Kobe got him a head coaching job because his name was Kobe Bryant. I think he coached the LA Sparks or somebody, one of those teams out there.
Yep.
You know, he got him head coaching, so he brought in a source of income. Only thing you got to do is just be Kobe Bryant's mama and daddy and respect your son, man. So in that situation, I understand where Kobe Bryant is coming from right there. That's a situation that y'all asking for too goddamn much. You sold his memorabilia. You know, granted, you know, if Kobe ever got broke, which I don't see ever happening anytime soon, you know, what you gonna do when he needs some money or when you actually gonna need some money and that allowances is cut off? You gonna sell his memorabilia before it's time to sell it? Because I get it at that point, but it's still. And he went back and bought the memorabilia back and returned it to him. He was like, no, this is memories. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I don't blame him for that shit. So in a situation like that, Kobe did right because he was taking care of his parents. But again, kids know when too much is too much because even with people not having millions of dollars, you know, some people make $20 million, $20,000 a year, $30,000 a year, $50,000 a year. It don't matter. It don't matter how much money you make. You got to know when too much is too much because parents will feel like they're entitled to get all your paycheck, even when you're out of their household. And I have family members who have that problem. I'm not going to say no names on here because I don't believe in putting people out on Front Street. But I know people personally in my family got kids that do good in the family and will take advantage of them. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And it's more than one family member. Please note that. So you can't say I'm sneak dissing anybody because I have family members who listen. I have my nieces listen, my nephews, my cousins listen on the podcast too. You know, because they do listen to the playback. You know, because my oldest surprised me one time in the comments section. So, but. So y'all, I'm not.
Wait a minute. That's it. You had comped that in and out a little bit. You said what now?
I say my nieces do listen to the podcast as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So and like I say, you know, she surprised me with the comment in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? But this is more than one family member. So there's not just one particular family member, more than one. So you can't say I'm sneak dissing anybody. So yeah.
And then I know on my podcast, you know, I got some family members that's like that too, and I don't say any names. And you know, I say some on here, and see, you also have some of them family members that be hard headed. I was talking about one, and it was something. I was talking about one about how much money he made. And he got on my face, and when I said, well, hey, if there's an issue, inbox me or text me. Why are you gonna get on my Facebook and blast me out on Facebook? See, and but it wasn't no harm in regards to what I said. But I also told him, I said, man, I wasn't dissing you. I said, and by the way, I ain't finna diss you on this. You need to learn how to follow directions.
Exactly. And
I said, if I tell you don't go on my Facebook and blast me, if you have a problem, if it was a problem, if you like what I said, that's fine. You can put it on there. But if you if you dislike what I said, there's this thing called a text message, or let alone in Facebook Messenger inbox. I said you could have did either one of the two. So. But I'm not dissing any family members. I in a way I did slick this one, and forgive me for kicking the the dead are not around to defend themselves. God rest my father's soul. But but like, excuse me, sorry about that, y'all. But Jimmy, like Jimmy said, kids know when to stop, know when enough is enough.
Exactly, because many ball players have went broke and many rich people have almost in the hole or went in the hole because of parents are taking advantage of them. They use weak ass shaming tactics. Well, if I didn't bring you in this world, you wouldn't be where you is. Well, okay, well, yes, bringing me in the world. Okay, it's one thing to bring me in the world, but it's another thing entirely. That don't mean you actually contribute to me being to where I am. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? You might have brought me in the world, raised me up to be a parent. That don't mean you taught me how to be a fucking engineer that makes thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Just because you brought me in the world, that don't mean you went on my rap CD and helped me engineer the rap CD or some shit like that, or help me write any of the songs and shit like that. And I wish parents would stop using this shame tactic to manipulate their kids out of and swindle their kids out of money. Tracy McGrady had that problem, and Tracy McGrady had uncles and mamas and aunties off. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember one segment, he was like, he gave his uncle think some thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. He was like, man, I'm gonna give you this one more time, and if you fuck this up, I can't fuck with you no more. For paraphrase, he didn't say it like that, but I'm paraphrasing.
But you know, that's what he was on broke. Yeah, so many words, and his uncle tried him anyway.
Exactly.
And then he said he had the nerve to call, and then he said that his uncle had the nerve to call Vince Carter about it, and Vince told him, "No, I can't help." And Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, they were related. He said, "No, I can't help you though. Sorry."
Yeah, they're cousins. Yeah. Yeah, they're cousins, and with Tracy McGrady lives in Sugar Land. You know what I'm saying? And Sugar Land's a nice part of Houston. You know what I'm saying? Further southwest of where I currently stay at right now. So that's one of the richest neighborhoods in Houston. So him taking that advice, he's living good. And I had the opportunity to meet Tracy McGrady. Real cool, laid back guy. He'll talk to you, shake your hand, and but
he said that on ESPN. He just said if he's he said like if he's with his wife and his kids, or something like that, he'll speak. And he said it was one fan that bumped to him at the airport, and the fan was very polite. He pulled him aside. He said, "I know who you are." He said, "I'm gonna bust you out the airport. Nice to meet you." Pulled him aside, whispered him, and Tracy gave him an autograph anyway. That was polite. Long as you polite. If I'm famous, I'm like this. Hey, if you see me at the airport or whatever, because like I said, I met Jerry West downtown when I was coming out of the First Tennessee Bank. I was like, whoa, and I shook his hand, And I think he was with, I forgot who he was walking with at the time. I think it was somebody, an assistant coach or a black guy or somebody. But yeah, the dude is fucking tall in person. And that it was a straight guy. I said, "Mr. West, how you doing? Nice meeting you." He said, "Same here." I shook his hand. And I told Moms and Pops, I said, you never believe who I met downtown. And they like, who? I said, guess. And it was like, the mayor. I said, no. I said, ball player. And it's like, who? One of the Grizzlies? And Pops named Damon Stoudemire. I said, no, I wish. I said, if I had met him in person, I've been standing over him. I said, because I'm taller than he is. He'd be probably telling me, man, you need to play ball. I said, no, not Damon Stoudemire. He's like, who? I said, okay, I'll give you a hint. Logo. Lakers. And Pops like, Jerry West. I said, yup. He's like, what? I said, yeah. Cool dude, man. But
I done ran into so many ball players in Memphis, Houston. It's crazy. Even LA. I done ran into a couple of celebrities out there as well. So it's crazy, dude. So yeah, man. But Tracy McGrady's a cool dude, man. Real laid back, real down to earth guy. So, so he's a very inviting person, man. But us out here in Houston, one thing about us in celebrities, what's popping and what's dropping, Zeke, man. Ty Legacy, man. Much respect, man.
What's going on, Ty?
He shouted us out. But one thing about us out here, man, we see so many celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Might not be on a daily basis, but maybe every other month we may see a celebrity to where we don't get starstruck like that out here. You know what I'm saying? Now, in other cities that may be a little different, but out here we kind of like, okay, you know, what's up? You know, you're gonna come back to the league, gonna be an assistant coach. Okay, bam. You know what I'm saying? Have a good day, man. That's how we get down out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's our get down out here. So it is what it is when it comes to McGrady. But again, guys, you know, just remember, I'm speaking to the kids of these players or celebrities or even executives. Know when to cut people off. You know what I'm saying? That don't make you a mean person. That just makes you a person that's trying to maintain the legacy of the family.
And also you parents also know when to stop. As a matter of fact, know when to quit while you ahead.
Exactly.
Because I'm gonna say it like this. Because if I give you $10,000, if I gave a family member $10,000 of my money and they coming up to me talking about they want some more, bye. No, bye. 10,000. You better make that $10,000 work.
Exactly.
Shit. Be up my face for some more money and all this other little shit. If you ain't, I don't care if I give you 5,000. And if you come and be talking about, man, well, I need 6,000 more because you should have made that 5,000 work.
Exactly.
I'll be, if I was an athlete or NBA player, NFL player, I'll be a mean ass. I wouldn't invest in, and then another thing, in the added addendum to the, what I was saying on your podcast, Friday, about you kids with you athletes. When you get these contracts, don't be quick to make no investments in no fucking restaurants, mainly hot wing joints and all this other little shit. You better put that shit in the bank. One, you better put that shit in the bank. Two, you better get you a good ass accountant there to know what the fuck you doing with your money, let you know, hey, you need to move some money here, this and that, such. I recommend everybody that's kind of like new to the chat room or people that are in the chat room that have probably watched this. And Jimmy and I, we've always talked about watching this show on ESPN 30 for 30. You can find it on Google Play for $1.99 if you got Google rewards from answer surveys. Or just have them take $1.99 off your debit card, however you want to put it. Broke. Because there was this one NFL player. He was because he said when he was playing, he said I ain't gonna say any names because he said I was studying because he said he said while I was still playing, he said I was doing some financial advising on the side, for myself before he went known. And he said one of the players came to him. He said something just told him. He said, man, I want to make sure my portfolio is right. And he told him, he said when he looked at his portfolio, he said he did the most. He said he looked at it one, went like, huh. He flipped over.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long pause. Then another one, he had to do a double take. He told him, he said, looking at this, if you follow this example with your financial portfolio, you'll be broke in a month. He said, I can help. He said, man, I can rework your portfolio right now and you'll still have some money. And he said, since then, that player been coming to him with financial advice and stuff like that. And he said, he still got money to this day. You looking at all these dudes like Bernie Kosar had and Bernie Kosar said the same thing. He said, never mix family with your money. He said he learned that lesson. A lot of guys learn all the lessons, like Jamal Mashburn. I mean, who's been pretty much he been very low key about a lot of stuff. And I kind of read some things about him he was a hell of a player, but they were saying like outside he was he was, I don't know. So, but yeah, if you young kids out there, if y'all thinking about when y'all get that first NBA contract or whatever, don't go buying no new house. Don't go buying no shoes. Damn sure don't give your family no damn money. Here's a good remedy when you get that contract. Don't tell no damn body. Hold on. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell ESPN. Don't tell Fox Sports. Don't tell no damn body. That's your money. It's your money until you get a text from your bank saying, "Ooh, so Jimmy J, we're right. You have 13,568,400 something blah 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 deposit in your account as of today." When you look at it like, oh, okay, you're gonna go to sleep. You're gonna go right back to sleep. When y'all get money like that, man, don't be planning on making no investments. Give a little something, if you have to, if you around your mom or something, if they leaving a bank statement around or a deposit slip around, man, slick deposit some money in their account. That's what I'll do. Slick deposit some money in your mom's account. Mainly put it in her savings. Don't put none in the check and put some in her savings. And then you bank the rest. I mean, that's what I do. Don't make no investment on like I said, don't make an investment on no hot wing joint, no bar and grill, or try to revitalize Sizzler, or anything like that. Damn, I just threw a throwback steakhouse there, Sizzler. If they still exist. But I mean, don't be trying, like I said, don't try to revitalize Sizzler. Don't be trying to go out and buy you 8 pairs of Jordans and shit like that, with your money, whatever, man. Shit, if you get 13 million in the bank, leave that shit alone. Get ready to pay. Find out if you can pay some taxes up front. That way you got to worry about it. That way you don't have to worry about it later.
Well, what I will say about that is, if you're going to do anything, put it into an annuity to where the interest roll off that $13 million. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. And if you're going to buy a house, invest in some type of real estate, like rental property. Go to your hood and buy out some of those fucked up ass houses. You will get a big return on the investments. Now, a lot of real estate experts per se will not tell you this. You know what I'm saying? They will be like, well, you don't invest in the hood because, well, it's not profitable. That's some bullshit. Wait
a minute, hold on, let me back that up. You said, what did you say? You can't invest in the hood because the hood isn't profitable?
I've been to real estate seminars.
Okay, but the quote you said, I know what you're saying. If the hood isn't profitable, if the hood ain't profitable, why the NBA and NFL so successful?
Exactly. And then while they're coming over to these neighborhoods and gentrifying these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
But they'll tell you that at certain real estate seminars. Now, a lot of them, they are good, but when they tell you that, when you have a white guy tell you that at a seminar, don't listen to him. Just invest that shit. Invest that shit back in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Flip those houses. You know what I'm saying? Turn them into rental property, or you can sell them. Sell them for double of what you put into that house. You know what I'm saying? Go back to the hood and invest in some of that shit over there, man. You'll be surprised how the type of money you make. A lot of people don't think that. A lot of people.
I got a friend that live up in Huntsville. She's a realtor. She even said a lot of people don't know the hood is a gold mine.
It's a gold mine, and people sleep on it. You know what I'm saying? Get some of those vacant apartment complexes. Apartment complex can make you a shitload of money. You know what I'm saying? You can get those hoes on pennies on the dollar and make a shitload of profit. Fix that bitch up. If it ain't no gate around that your housing, those apartments, put a gated to where they can get into a key code. Like where I stand, you got to have a key code. You got to have a gate card to get in this motherfucker. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? You need to have it like that. You can fix it up, get a shitload of profit off that. You know what I'm saying? I say stay away from the stock market unless you go talk to a financial planner and shit like that. But invest in shit like that. Invest into real estate. You know what I'm saying? Invest into shit like invest into contracting. Contracting makes a lot of money as well. You know what I'm saying? So that makes a lot of money. That makes a lot of constructions. You know what I'm saying? Staffing agencies. Invest in shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But again, put your shit into an annuity. If you got $13 million, all you'll be doing is spending the interest on it. And if you're gonna buy you a house paid for, but don't spend too much for a fucking house. You don't need no motherfucking $20 million house when you only got $13 million to work with. You know what I'm saying?
You
can buy you a $500,000 house, and it look just as good as that $1 million house in LA. God damn it! So shit.
This like and even though I don't watch WWE no more, my boy Kurt Angle. Kurt, I like what he said. What he did. He's a shit. He said the money he was saving from all the years working WWE with his contracts rolling over, and then he getting extra money from merchandise sales and DVD sales and stuff like that. He said he took the little extra bonus money and just outright bought him a house. Because he said one time he made like 3.7 million one year. He said he didn't go out and buy him no $3.5 million house. That man went out and bought him a $400,000 house paid for.
Exactly.
And he said that is his. And shit. He said because at first he was living in an apartment. That's when he was saying him and his first wife were living in an apartment. So then when he left, said when him and his first wife had divorced, they he still was living in his apartment and stuff like that. He had enough money to pay up a lease for a couple of years because he knew he was going to be on the road for a while.
Exactly.
So then, say when he got married to his second wife, he already knew, hey, this apartment ain't going to do because she talking about she want to have some children and shit. And I already got it. He said, I already got a teenager as it is, hell, time for me to get a house. So that man, he didn't spend no point and didn't buy no some odd $1 million of his money and bought a house. That man went and bought a $400,000 house. He said it was about $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
And shit, he bought it. And he said the stuff that needed to be done, he did it himself.
Exactly.
So he's a shit. He said, he said a lot of people think it's $1 million house. No, that's 400,000.
Yeah.
So
just like
he's living well. He's living well within his means, man. And that's another thing. You gotta live within your means. You can't live beyond your means.
Exactly. And just like Nolan Ryan out here in Houston, he lives out on the countryside. And when he first came to the Houston Astros, he bought that house for $200,000 house. And he's been living on that same house for a number of years. And the only thing he did was buy the rest of the acreage on that property.
Mm-hmm.
But his house compared to other guys is relatively frugal frugal is really frugal compared to other guys. But
cheap.
The thing is, he has a lot of land on top of that hole, because one of my white coworkers, he was like, he had to go ship him a package, and it took him forever to get to the house, to the thing on the house, because he has a gate code, and it's a shitload of land. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And your boy Undertaker live out in Houston.
Yeah, he lives out here in Houston. He's originally from the north side of Houston. He's from North Houston. So yeah, he's from the hood, basically. So yeah. Yeah, his mother was a famous performing arts teacher out here, just like Patrick Swayze's mother. And that's how pretty much he got into the WWE, was his mom being a performing arts teacher. But yeah, he lives in Houston. I mean, it's a lot.
He had a birthday yesterday, man. 54.
Yeah,
bless his heart.
And, happy birthday to that brother, man. And Ty Legacy in the room's talking about, he say know the difference between a want and a necessity. Very true, Ty Legacy.
Yep.
And you meet your necessity needs first before you meet your wants and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So just handle your business first. You know what I'm saying? And then your wants will come later. But yeah, man.
Hold up. So I ain't gonna say Undertaker's real name. So that man from the north side of Houston.
He's from the north side of Houston.
Huh.
the north side.
I know he used to play. He used to play ball. I forgot what high school he said he was. They said he was a hell of a ball player.
Yeah, yeah, but he from North Houston, man. Yeah, man. So yeah,
I think because he got some. Because this old WWE magazine did a little profile of him. They said that man's house got about. Said he got a house and then along with like 10 acres of land and shit, 10 and a half acres of land. He said and counting. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that's why I say. So, I tell people all, you'll be surprised who lives out here in Houston. I mean, there's a lot of people. Like Shaq has a house out here. His daughter lives out here in Houston. So yeah.
The oldest one.
Say what now?
I think he said his old. Well, either I think his oldest one.
That's probably true. Charles Barkley still got a house out here, so it's a lot of people that'll come do this mug, and they'll have a house. You know what I'm saying? They'll keep a house out here and then go on about their business. He predominantly like Barkley lives in Phoenix, but he keeps a house out here. You know what I'm saying? So he won't have to spend them expensive ass hotels out here. So it is what it is when it comes to that, man. But yeah,
man, every NBA player and NFL player living out in Phoenix. Well, shit, Larry Fitzgerald, he living in Phoenix. Let's see, God rest his soul, the Ultimate Warrior. That shit, he lived in Phoenix. And his widow still lives out in Phoenix. Shit, who else live out in Phoenix? Donovan McNabb.
Oh yeah, quite a few people. And the thing about Phoenix. A few years, the real estate market has ballooned and stuff like that. So if they want to sell their house, it is real easy. But then the thing that the benefits you got Phoenix is you're close by Las Vegas. You're not too far from the Bay Area. You're not too far from San Diego, and you're not too far from LA. You can just take I-10, bam, you're in LA, or bam, you're in the Santa Monica part of LA and stuff like that. So that's why the real estate market has went up. And then Phoenix is like the 5th largest city in the United States, right behind Houston. So yeah, I mean, the real estate market is hella good. Robert Kiyosaki lives in Phoenix.
Shit, what's his name? The wrestler, retired wrestler Shawn Michaels, HBK. Now he's saying it. He live in Florida now because he still got his crib. He got a big ass crib in San Antonio. Yeah. And he told the story about Ultimate Warrior, man. I think this back like when they was like he said, because Sean was like, he said, I was like 22 or something like that. And he said, and I was trying to find me somewhere suitable to live because he said he was about to live in Phoenix himself. Because he said at the time when he was living in Texas, he couldn't afford to buy him a house with the money he was making in DC when he was working at WWF at the time, like in the 80s. So he said Warrior offered that man his house. He said, well, I'll tell you what. He said, stack your money up. He said, because hell, I'm not. He said, because shit, I ain't gonna. He said, because, and he said, plus I need somebody to watch. He said, I need somebody to take care of my house for a couple of days. He said, you can stay here. And he said, if you like it, you can have it. He said, I can always give me another crib. And he said that the money then. He said Warriors. He said that's still the same house that Ultimate Warrior had offered to him. It's the same house that he still has in Phoenix now. But because he said because Warrior had said that he gave him some good advice. He told him, he said, man, he said, Sean, he said,
you're going in and out, brother. You're going in and out.
Because he told. And HBK was telling the story. He had said that Warrior told him, he said, man, stack your money. He told him basically just stack your money up. He said, because in about so many odd years, the housing market values of all these houses are going to go down. And then you can just go ahead and put some money down toward a starter house. And then when you really make some money, you should keep saving your money up, saving up, you can go ahead and get the house that you want. And he said that advice paid off. Because when he was in tech, because he said he did manage to get a house in Phoenix though. It was a starter house. Pretty cheap. It was pretty cheap, nice little 2-bedroom starter house, something like that for him, for him and his wife, his old wife at the time. But saying then when he got older, started making more money. He had a house built from the ground up like it was a mansion and a ranch all in one. He said he still got that motherfucker, still got that sucking, and he got a house down in Florida. So he said, shit, despite what people been saying, how crazy he was and how he was with certain people, he said, HBK said he was nice to me. He said, because he gave me some good advice.
Exactly.
He said he gave us good advice, and he said when he told his dad about it, because his dad is retired Air Force. I forgot what rank he was, and told him about it. He's like, yeah. He said, you know, your co-worker's right. He said, because he said years to come. He said, hell, housing market is gonna go down the wild. He said, and in Texas, it's not gonna go down for a minute. He said, so when he got the house, yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
I think. Sorry about the inconvenience because I cannot hear him. Sorry about that, guy.
Bing, bing, walla, walla, bing, bang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hold on. Sound went out.
You ain't mute me, did you?
Sorry about the technical difficulties because I am having technical issues. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on. I am trying to get this off here because I am having sound issues. Hold on. Let me try this again. I had a sound problem. Sorry about that. Hold on. Dang, this thing got right in my way too.
Give me jam.
Hold on. This is crazy.
Oh shit. We're having technical issues live on the Jimmy J Smooth Network, y'all.
Great points and okay. That's either on. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Damn. I hate when shit like that happens. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Because I couldn't hear you at first. My bad on that particular issue. Go ahead and finish what you were saying because I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, but he was saying though, man, HBK was saying that his dad had basically told him the same thing because that was some good advice Warrior did give him. Because he said, the more you keep stacking your money, shit, you're gonna be able to get the shit you want. By the time the housing market go down, he said that'll be the best time to go ahead and get the house when it's down, and then when you get it, it'll go right back up. So, but like Jimmy Jam said, man, and y'all you kids out there, put y'all money in the damn equity. Matter of fact, start get with your parents and mess to your parents out there. If y'all if you want to teach your kids the value of a dollar, get them to start saving up something now.
Oh, most definitely, man. And like I said, that was some good advice that the Ultimate Warrior gave Shawn Michaels, man. And that's crazy, man, because that dude is sitting on some major paper too, man. And he tried to marry old girl that was in the WWE. You know who I'm talking about from old girl. You know who I'm talking about. I can't think of off the top of my head. Go ahead.
Talking about HBK?
I think her name was Sunny.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm gonna link you this podcast called Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, another Houston native. He details that whole story. So I'm gonna be on the lookout for a link on that, man. He details the whole story about that.
And she talked about that. And she talked about that she talked about that as well. And I'm looking up his net worth, and they say a lot of his profit, $17 million worth of properties that he owns. So yeah, he got sound advice, and I just typed up his net worth, and yeah, dude is sitting on some money, and you know, shit, dude sitting on some big boy paper. So much respect to him, man.
Yeah. Yeah, because Sonny talked about it, and that's why I said you gotta listen to Bruce Pritchard's take on that.
Yeah.
Cause
Mhm.
yeah, he lives out in North Houston too.
Yeah, but I felt like Shawn Michaels dodged the bullet with her too because she was all over the place. To be honest with you, he dodged the bullet. You know, I don't know what he was thinking. You know, he was thinking with the third leg, but he dodged the bullet on that. He dodged the bullet. I
Yeah.
gotta.
Well, yeah, I remember that. And then he gonna apply something. See, I got Bret Hart's book. It's a good read, by the way.
Yeah.
Bret Hart had to whoop his ass on that he had to whoop his ass backstage on Monday Night Raw when Shawn Michaels gonna say, I heard through the grapevine that Bret been having some sunny days.
Damn.
I'm like, oh man, and then they said everybody was in the back. And when Bruce Pritchard found out what he said, he was like, what the fuck? He's like, no, he didn't. And they said this was like
Mm-hmm.
this was like back in 97.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So it's like, man, when he said that shit, I was like, oh, and I was like, oh damn. Yeah, I whoop your ass too. You gonna accuse me of cheating on my you gonna accuse me of sleeping on my wife, bro?
That's against guy code any fucking way. You don't do no little fuck shit.
But you know, Bret didn't do that with her. But in his book, he wasn't ashamed to admit, he wasn't ashamed to admit some of the shit he did on the road. But him fucking around with Sonny, no. Sonny said no. He said because her and her boyfriend at the time, they were cool with Bret. He said Bret didn't like to be in the locker room. A lot of people. He said, "You mind if I use your locker room?" Or ask Chris or ask Sonny's boyfriend, I rest his soul. If he might, he said, "No, man, go ahead." You know, because they was the only ones he was cool. You know, they were pretty cool with him.
And Bret also, and that was like the beginning of the end of his marriage when he came out and did that fuck shit. You know, now I'm pretty sure now that they cool now, but that was like the beginning of the problem in his marriage, though. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's why you shouldn't violate guy code. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why you don't violate guy code, because that started a shitload of problems in that particular situation.
Hell you know yeah. Now my boy Bret, he getting ready to go back in the Hall of Fame again, him and his brother-in-law and Jimmy Hart. Now Bret married him a sister. So big props to him, man. Woo!
Oh yeah, and not just that, Anvil had died not too long ago as well.
Heart attack.
Unfortunately for him, and you know, he had a history of doing performance enhancers, unfortunately for him. And this is why you don't do performance enhancement drugs as well, because
on top of and on top of and let's not forget, that wasn't the only performance enhancing drug he was fucking with either. Sniff. So
yeah, but I remember they got some shit so powerful now. And I talked to a fellow white brother who did the juice, and he was like, I only took this shit one time. And you know, the steroids that they had back then, you had to perpetually use it. But he said they got some shit out now. All you got to do is take that shit one time. And this dude said his body fat is less than 3%. And I was like, dude, that's unhealthy. You need to stay between at least 10%, 7%, because you can damn near die from having no body fat. You're supposed to have body fat to maintain energy, man. But he told me he took a shot up his ass. You know what I'm saying? This is what he said. I mean, I can't what the guy say. He took a shot up his ass. And he was like, that shit within weeks, that shit was highly effective. And he said he only took it one time. You know what I'm saying? So he said, you got some shit now. You ain't got to take one time, but it'll be in your system for a minute, though. You know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah, you got to be careful what you put in your body. You know what I'm saying? You know, at that time, with the steroids they had at that time, you had to perpetually use it. So, you know, stay away from that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you might fuck around with some shit, you know, to where you can't get it out your system. And you know, you might have took that a year ago and this shit still be in your fucking system. So just be careful of what you take. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is when it comes to that. But you know, shout out to Bret Hart, shout out to the Hart family, you know, the Future Hart Foundation, you know, because he got some more nephews that plan on getting to wrestling if they're not already into wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I hate that. Go ahead.
Let's see. He got a nephew that's in wrestling. He got two nephews in wrestling. They wrestle for MLW. David Boy Smith's son, Harry Smith, and Brett's nephew named Teddy Hart. Yeah, that's by one of his sisters. Well, she didn't marry a wrestler. She married a regular Joe, and Brian Pillman's son in the group too. Brian Jr. BJ said the dead ringer looked just like him.
Oh, you know,
but he don't do the he doesn't do the loose cannon gimmick. I got an email from a guy from a chick named what is this supposed to be a chick? I guess with the name of a niece.
Okay.
She put in the subject talking about some we want moms. When's moms coming back on the show? I'll let her answer that for y'all. Mom. The fans are requesting that you come back on the Jimmy J Smooth podcast for any topic. Are you gonna be available anytime? She said it. No.
I mean, and again, that's her.
But again, it's understandable though. But like I said, can't charge to the game. I know Mom's being the most requested, like I said, old school. But sometimes when she wanna say something, sometimes she don't. But she but hey, I mean, it's up to her. I mean, because y'all get a topic together. Well, y'all heard it. She said we get a topic together, she'll do it.
Okay, most definitely. And
y'all heard it.
Yeah, and the Todd Legacy said in the chat room, a year-long ass shot. Going back to the steroid. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We good, Mom.
Yeah, no, we were talking about the steroid shot. Yeah.
Okay.
From what the gentleman was saying.
Mom said she'll join us whatever topic we get together.
Okay, all right.
Y'all heard it, y'all.
That works. That works. But yeah, man. Again, back to what Todd Legacy was saying in the chat room. Be careful what you take. Be careful what you take because you ain't gonna be able to get that out your system. The steroids they making now. So.
Hey, you got one more thing about Bret, and I recommend y'all find his book. It's available on Amazon because I went and bought mine from Books a Million. It's a damn good read, man. He tells some fun stories. He spits some real shit. He talked about one where he said he called himself trying steroids and turned around. They were steroids for something else that had his ass sick as a motherfucker. So,
yeah, but they got
so he had to hurry up, get all that shit drained out his damn system. But he talked about the time when Doctor, here's the name, Dr. D. David Schultz slapped that dude from 2020, and he said that instead of dude, he said it was named Stossel, John Stossel. He said what John Stossel should have been reporting on was this dude named Dr. Zahorian. He said because that man was back there giving out drugs and shit and everything with all these motherfuckers. Said see the rat. He said he was wondering why all the wrestlers was lining up and shit. So Bret was like, okay. He said he asked Jim, said, what the hell they line up for? He said, they getting ready to get their goodies. They getting ready to get their gimmicks. And little gimmicks they have to take, stuff they gotta take to keep them up, stuff to take them help go to sleep. Because they said Vince worked the shit out them dudes every fucking night, bro. No rest, no nothing. So Bret said he said, okay. He said, well, how much you taking? He said, well, shit, how much you got? So he said he had him enough money. He said he had him a wad. He said he had a nice little wad of hundreds in his he said he had was a pretty hefty sum of money he had. So he said, well, shit. He said he gave Dr. Zahorian $200. And Zahorian gave that man a big ass he said one of them medium-sized shopping bags, paper bags with the shit. He said, okay. He looked in there, he said he had some testosterone, decadoblan, and he said some other shit.
Oh, there's so many names to that stuff.
But he said it was the main two, and then he said he had he said it was a couple, and he said it was a couple of Tylenols in there too. And he said it wasn't none of that store-bought Tylenol in there either. He said it was the damn. He said it was that stuff you get from the military. That shit will help you sleep and knock you out. So he's like, okay. So he said he every so often he did that, but you know, he said it ain't worth it. He said he just did his best. He he worked at the gym and did what he was supposed to do because like he said, Vince wants a guy to look good, keep his body in peak condition, but how you go about doing it, that's your damn business. And he said Vince caught a lot of fire with that steroid trial and shit, man. You know.
Oh yeah.
Because it was obvious. We all know Hulk Hogan was on this shit.
Because his muscles were sagging muscles. That was the giveaway of Hulk Hogan. My brother was
skinny, and then he got off the gas when he was skinny a little bit in WCW.
Yep.
Macho Man was on it for a minute. He admitted, he said, yeah, I took it. He said, this shit ain't helping. He said, I took it one time, and that was my last time. And that's it. You know, a lot of guys took all this shit. What's his name? Even though he didn't need to take it, you know, he didn't take it like to work out. The late Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yep.
He said the only time he said he took steroids, you know, to help alleviate the pain from his injuries. He said, but as far as, you know, taking them to work out and all the other shit, he said he never did it.
Yeah, Yokozuna, which is why he's no longer with us. He took steroids, and I'm like, dude, you big as hell. What the fuck you need some fucking steroids for, dude? I'm like, I never ever got that, you know. But unfortunately, he's no longer with us. Rikishi took it up until his cousin Yokozuna died. When he died, he was like, oh shit, I gotta get off this shit. That was one of those things for him. So yeah, but I never got why Yokozuna, because nigga, you big as a motherfucking Yokozuna out in goddamn sumo wrestling up in Japan somewhere, goddamn where. So you know,
and you know Yokozuna Samoan. So
say what now?
You know Yokozuna is actually Samoan.
Yeah, I know he's Samoan, but you know most sumo wrestlers in Japan, a lot of them are Samoan or Hawaiian or Polynesian anyway, because you don't have very many overweight people in Japan like that. Oh, that's probably one of the most fit countries you're ever going to go to. So, yeah. But you know, with him, you know, I never got why he just started juicing.
Who you talking about again? Hogan?
No, I was speaking of Yokozuna, the late Yokozuna. You know, God rest his soul. And for the Japanese people, we're not talking about the highest ranked sumo wrestler. We're just talking about the wrestler, the WWE wrestler Yokozuna. You know, for those who know their sumo wrestling.
Right. I mean, because a lot of shit. And hell, a lot of them wrestlers took all this shit, man. A lot of people thought Ultimate Warrior took that shit. No, Warrior wasn't on the gas.
Another guy who took it is the late Big Boss Man. He was heavily on it, unfortunately for him. You know, he was on that shit.
I didn't see him put no muscle on. He was just actual regular Big Bubba back when he was in the NWA under Jim Cornette and Midnight Express. Now Big Bubba like to fuck around all the damn Big Bubba like to fuck around with painkillers and fuck around them painkillers and alcohol. That was his shit. But
but that contribute to his death. You know, a lot of the juicing, it contribute to his death. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're on that shit, even with it, because he was a heavy alcoholic as well. But when you're juicing along with drinking alcohol, that's gonna have an effect on you. I'm gonna tell you that now. So yeah, it is what it is when it comes to that. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, but seeing the late great British Bulldog, he did it. And you know what attributed to his death, he had a morphine addiction. You know, God rest his soul. Dynamite Kid. Dynamite Kid is a perfect example. God rest his soul. His steroid use attributed to his career ending early because that man was having back issues and shit like that, and his back had gave out so bad from the wear and tear from steroid abuse and stuff like that. Man, he ended up in the wheelchair for the rest of his life.
Oh
look what he did to Superstar Billy Graham, baby. Look what it did to Superstar Billy Graham.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, man.
Had he known about the dangers of steroids back then, he wouldn't have fucked with them.
Oh yeah, there's too many downsides to that shit. And the shit they got out now, I wouldn't even dream of taking that shit. I'm not. Don't even come my way with that. After what my boy Caucasian brother told me, man, about that shit, the shit that he got.
Damn, that's basically a sheet of paper.
Yeah, because dude got his shit from Turkey, and it was that fucking powerful. He got it from a whole nother country, so it was like he had that shit shipped to him. You know what I'm saying? Not to put his business out there, because he should go nameless. But yeah, he told me about that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, damn. And you should see him. He's a real skinny guy, but you can tell that boy did juiced with something. Goddamn.
Damn. That's one thing I ain't gonna do. I'm admit, I when I was working out my younger days, I thought about trying that shit, but then I was like, nah. Shit, I ain't gonna do that shit.
And you should. And just to be honest, you shouldn't at all. You shouldn't need no thing. Now there are situations where athletes get hurt and they have to take some form of steroid shit. The shit that I had to take for my problem, my medical problem, that I had to stay at home for 2 days, I had to take some type of steroid and shit like that. But
yeah,
it's at a minimal doses. But I'm saying, intentionally taking it for a performance enhancer to where you gotta personally shoot yourself up the ass, and you got some steroids where you got gummy steroids out there now. They were talking. The stuff they were talking about with A-Rod and stuff like that, allegedly, he admitted to taking performance enhancement, but the other stuff in recent years where they talking about the gummies, okay, I can't prove that at all. But
right,
they got gummy steroids now, so you got so many types of performance enhancements. It's crazy though. But again, guys, just stay away from that crap, man. Stack your money and stay away from that bullshit.
Man, and if you got to cheat, don't do it.
Exactly.
Shit, believe in your natural ability. I have not once heard about an NBA player taking performance enhancers.
Yeah,
now, I know some NFL players do. Like this dude named he was a wide receiver back in the day for the Arizona Cardinals, David Boston. This motherfucker went from being semi-built. Now this motherfucker built. Like, I'm a big, tough, bad motherfucker. Yeah, look at me. I got muscles and shit.
Exactly. And with basketball, a motherfucker is taking performance enhancement. Like, dude, you ain't finna. What advantage you gonna get if you can't rebound, you can't score, you can't block shots? That's your ass. So it is what it is. So it is what it is when it comes to this. Like, so if you taking that in basketball, you really need your ass moved. Football, I don't co-sign it, and I don't think you should take it. Weightlifting, wrestling, I don't think you should do any of that stuff. UFC, I don't think you should do any of that stuff. But basketball, come on. You really shouldn't be taking that shit.
Hell no. And if you playing basketball, you gotta take some steroids to get up your post game. You don't need to play. Shame on you.
Exactly.
You want up your post game. I tell you what, you want up your post game. Here you go. Go find you the nearest basketball park somewhere in Memphis, Tennessee, or in Houston, out in the hood somewhere, and play and get your game better going up against some street niggas playing ball.
Exactly.
That's your steroids right there.
Yeah, go to third ward or fifth ward somewhere and play basketball against one of those guys. You know, and if you can't play against those guys, you shouldn't even be playing basketball to begin with. So it is what it is when it comes to that. My boy said I wouldn't be messing with that shit at the middle-aged body that I have now. Don't recover the same shit. Waking up and your nuts unattached to the floor. You saying some real shit.
He ain't lying.
Shit. You saying some real shit. Like I say, I ain't touching that shit. So it is what it is. So do you got anything else before we go on and get up out of here?
No, man. Shit. I'm finna get up on here, put the post this podcast episode on despite technical difficulties on my Facebook page, and I'm gonna go ahead and fix me something to eat, man, and find something to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on and
shit, cause ain't no games on. Man, but speaking of games, did you see that buzzer beater that what's his name, Jeremy Lamb from Charlotte pulled on Toronto, damn near from almost from beyond half court.
He pulled on Toronto, who played for Charlotte.
Yeah, Jeremy Lamb hit for the Charlotte Hornets, had hit a buzzer beater last night against Toronto. They wasn't even in half court, and I think Kyle Lowry was guarding this fool. Lamb just threw the shit up like a long ass rainbow shot, just like, woo! Like,
oh yeah, man. Oh, I have not seen that yet. I got to take a look at that, man. But yeah, man, it is freaking crazy, dude. So it is what it is when it comes to that. But yeah,
but all I say is the NBA playoffs gonna be exciting. Why? No LeBron.
And not just that, the East is wide open right now. I mean, despite Milwaukee, is doing as well as they are. But like I say, people are talking about how Boston is doing this and doing that. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't sleep on them motherfuckers. They going through it, but right now, but don't sleep on them when playoff time come. Philadelphia found that out. The Bucks found that out. So don't sleep on them come playoff time.
Oh, hell no.
And I tell you, don't sleep on Philadelphia. Damn sure don't sleep on Toronto, and you better watch out for Detroit. Detroit is slick. It's slick, dangerous in his own right. So,
Toronto, and they say right now Toronto will play them in the first round as of now.
Yeah, so that's a dangerous game for Toronto. If the playoffs ended right now, that's a dangerous game for them because it is what it is. It is what it is when it comes to them. So. If you ain't got nothing else, man, you know what I'm saying? This your boy, live and direct, in full effect, out the 832 with my boy out the 662. Shout out to my boy Ty Legacy out in Toronto, Canada, man. Man, much respect, man, for being on the live stream. I know you in a whole nother time zone, so man, stay warm out there because I know it's still cold out there.
I think they're an hour ahead.
Yeah, they're ahead of us for sure. So
hour ahead. 2 hours ahead, so
yeah, for sure. But once again, this your boy live and direct in full effect out the 832 with my boy out the 662, and y'all already know how we do. Good night, and I'm gonna take my black ass to sleep as well before I get me something to eat. Not before I get me something to eat. So peace out, guys.
Later.